Hello, my good people. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today we're going to make this beautiful red bag. And I hope you will get to learn a lot from this while you're having fun. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave your comment below. To start, you're gonna need a 70mm fish line. I have my lighter as well as nail cutter. So I'm using 10mm beads, red in color, and also I have this is 16mm beads in red as well. So yeah, let's start. So to start, I cut my fish line and I'm gonna put two beads. This is 10mm beads, and then I'm going to put two 16mm beads, and then I'm gonna put 10mm beads, and then I'm gonna put 16. So I'm gonna start by 10. You can even start with 16. It's not a must for you to start with 10mm. So I have to cross through the 10mm beads, as you can see, and also I have to make sure it's going to create some kind of square, and then I have to make sure that my fish line is equal on both sides. So one side won't end and then I remain with another fish line on the other side. I don't like wasting my fish line. Yeah. So after that, I am going to put 16mm beads on each side. And then I put 10mm on either side. And then I cross on the 10mm beads, as you can see. So I'm gonna keep doing the same process. You can see what I've created so far. So I'm gonna continue with the same process. 16mm on each side. I put 16mm on each side, two 16mm beads. And then 10mm on either side. And then I cross on the 10mm beads. And then I pull through. I'm gonna keep doing the same process until I get the round, which for me I think it's enough. And then 10mm, and then I cross. So for me, this was a very easy bag to make. It also does not take time. I think I used like 1 hour to make it. Yes, it really does not take time. I think also because the beads are like big, so it's easy. And yeah, and then 10mm, and then I cross. Then I put 10mm beads, 16, sorry, on each side, and then I cross on 10mm beads. Gonna keep doing the same process again to two 16mm beads on one side, and then two on the other side, and then I cross. I put 10, and then I cross on the 10mm beads. So I created 8 rounds, and I'm going to create one more round which through that round I'm going to connect the ends for me to be able to create a round for my bag. So I'm going to put two 16mm beads on either side, and then I'm going to pass through the two 10mm beads, and after that I'm going to put two 16mm beads. You can put on either fish line, each side of fish line, and then I'm going to pass through only one bead on the beads I have put it. Only one. So I'm going to pass through the bead that follow this one, I hope you can see I did not pass through, only pass through these two beads, another two beads which I put it for me to create the round shape for my bag. So let's repeat this process. So I put two 16mm beads, and I'm going to pass through only one bead, like I'm going to cross through only one bead from the two beads which I put it, and then I'm going to pass through the bead that follow on the other side of my line. Maybe that can either way make sense. So yeah, you can see, and then from there can put you can put two 10mm beads on either side, and then two 16mm beads, and then two 10mm beads, and then you cross through the two so the two 10mm, two 16mm, and then two 10mm, and then I cross through the last two 10mm, and then from there my right hand I'm going to pass through two these 16mm beads. You have to make sure that your bag is tight, so make sure when you are pulling the fish lines, make sure they are tight so that your bag won't be loose. And then after that, now I'm going to put two 16mm beads, and then two 10mm beads, and then I cross through the two 10mm beads, and then I'm going to put the on my right hand these two 16mm beads. On my left I'm going to put two 16mm beads, then I'm going to put two 10mm beads. You can, and then I cross through the, now I have to like close my bag because my fish line is ending, so I'm going to close it, and then I cut and then band the remaining fish line. So we cut, and then we band the remaining one. You do on the other fish line as well. We cut and then we band. So to continue, once your fish line have ended, you're going to pass through the 10mm beads. These two 10mm, and then I'm going to also pass it through the 16, these two 16mm beads right here. And then after that, on the other side, I'm going to first I have to make sure that my fish line is equal in on each side, and then I'm going to put two 16 millimeter and then 10 millimeter, and then I cross on the 10 millimeter. After that, I'm going to pass through the on my right hand. I'm going to pass through the two 16 millimeter, and then my left I'm going to put two 16 millimeter beads and then two 10 millimeter beads. 1 2 1 2. Then I cross through the 10 millimeter beads. So I'm gonna keep doing the same process until I finish this second line. 10 millimeter, and then I cross through the 10 millimeter beads. I'm gonna pass through the 16 millimeter. I put two 16 millimeter and two 10 millimeter, and then I cross through the 10 millimeter beads. Two 16 millimeter, and then I'm gonna put two 16 millimeter, and then two 10 millimeter, and then I cross through them. So now I've reached I think the end of my second line. So I'm going to pass through these two 16 millimeter and these two 10 millimeter, and then these two 10 millimeter, and then I'm going to put two 16 millimeter on either side, and then I cross only through one for now, and then I go to pass through the other one, but not the one the two beads which I put it for me to create my round. So you can see like I pass through this bead right here and this bead right here. Let's do this again. So I put it to 16 millimeter bead on either side. You can do this on either side. And then I am going to cross through the last bead. First, let's cross through the last bead and the bead that follow. Not this. So I'm going to pass through. Let's do this. I'm going to pass through the last bead. I put it. And the bead that follow on my left, but only one bead. So it's going to be like that, and then you can do this on either side. So I put it to start each like a new line. You have to start by putting two 10 millimeter and then two 16 millimeter, and then two 10 millimeter, and then you cross on the last two 10 millimeter beads, and then I'm going to pass through these two 16 millimeter beads on my right, on my right side or right hand. So it's really the same process. I'm going to put two 16 millimeter, two 10 millimeter, and then after that I just cross on the 10 millimeter. So I'm going to create like 5 lines. So the process is the same on each line. There is no magic. It's just the same process. So yeah, you can also maybe do like 6 line, but for me I'm going to do only 5 lines, and you'll see. Just keep being with me. So I'm going to show you how you can connect these once again. I'm going to pass through the two 16 millimeter and then the two 10 millimeter beads, and then after that I'm going to put two 16 millimeter beads on either side. You can do that, and then I'm going to pass through or to cross through the last bead I put it, go through that, and then you have to cross or to put your fish line on the bead that follow after the last bead you crossed, or the bead you did the crossing. So yeah, so either side you can start by putting two 10 millimeter beads, and then two 16 millimeter beads, and then two 10 millimeter beads, and then you have to cross through that. So every time when you start a new line, you have to start by putting 10 millimeter, and then 16 millimeter, two 16 millimeter, and then two 10 millimeter, and then you cross on the last 10 millimeter beads. So let's continue with the same process of two 16 millimeter beads, and then you put two 10 millimeter beads, and then you cross through the 10 millimeter beads. So even when we connect my fourth line, you're also going to do the same process. And I'm about to finish. Now I'm working on my fifth line. So yes, for me this was the length, which I think was enough, but you can add one more, or you can even put two more, just the way you want, or it's just depend on the measurements of your clients, how big your clients want the bag, or how you think um, you want your bag to look like. So I'm done, and you can see I've only created 5 lines, and this is how my bag look. So now we're going to work on creating our handle, and I have to look. You see, like here there's no fish line that pass through, and but here there is. So we're going to find from there the center of our bag, and then we make sure that our fish line have passed through any round, and then we put some beads for our handle. So I normally, for me to be able to make, like for my work to be easy, I normally count two beads as one. So instead of counting one bead at a time, I normally count two beads as one. Yes, that I hope that can help you as well. So I'm going to put enough beads that can fit to be for my handle. Um, I put them through, and you have to make sure that the handle stays at the center of your bag. For me, I think this handle was like too big, so I just get some beads out. And so when you're creating your handle, so that your handle, for me, I don't like when the handle is loose. So I normally put a really long fish line to create the handle so that my handle can be strong. And I'll show you how you can make your handle strong. So I'm going to, so I've already know the center of my back. So I'm going to pass through the round of my back. You can see if like I pull my fish line very tight, the handle stays strong. So I'm going to pass through the round until I reach where my handle started. And then from here, I'm going to pass through the handle. Like the other side, also have to pass through the round of my back. And then make sure you pull very tight your handle. The fish line, make sure they're like very tight, and also the fish line can also go to the other side. So you have to, because I have to like pass all these two fish line to my handle again, so that my handle can be very strong. So you can put maybe one fish line at a time, or you can connect both of them, and then you can let them like pass through the handle at once. Make sure you pull your fish line and the handle stay very tight. And after passing through all the beads for my handle, I'm going to find a way in which I can close this fish line. But before doing that, you have to use all the energy that you have to pull the fish lines and make sure that your handle stay very tight, so that your handle can be very strong and it won't fall down once you put your bag down. So once you're satisfied that your handle is strong, for me, I'm gonna like cut another fish line, and then I'm gonna pass through so that I can just find a way to close the fish line, and then I'm going to close the fish lines. Make sure it's also very tight, and now you can see that my handle just stayed strong. It's not falling down, and I have to cut the fish lines, the remaining one, and then I band them. So not really done, but you can see it's came out very well. So I'm going to cover this bottom side so things won't pass through when I put through my bag. I put them in my bag. So let's start working on our bottom side, and I'm going to use my 16 millimeter beads. I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put 6 beads, the 16 millimeter, and I have putted 6, and I'm going to cross through the last bead. As you can see, I'm going to put to use this 10 millimeter bead, and I'm going to put 1. I'm going to put like only 3, and through these 3 I'm going to pass it through 3 16 millimeter beads, and then I'm going to put another 3 on either side of the fish line, and then you pass through the 3, the one you put it, the 3 10 millimeter beads. After that, I'm going to pass through 3 16 millimeter beads that follow, and I'm going to pass through this one bead right here, and then I'm going to put 3 beads on either side, and then I cross through the 3 beads. I'm going to pass through this 16 millimeter bead, and then the other side I'm going to pass through 3 16 millimeter beads, and then I'm going to put 3 16 I mean 10 millimeter beads, and then I pass through them. I'm gonna keep doing the same process. I'm going to pass through 1 bead on my left and 3 beads on my right side. Then after that, I'm going to put three 10 millimeter beads on either side, and then I cross through the three beads. I'm going back through three 16 millimeter beads on my right, and then I'm going back through 1 millimeter beads on my left, and then I'm gonna put three 10 millimeter beads, and then I cross. I close because I'm done on creating the bottom side. And our bag is finished. I'm just going to cut the remaining fish line, and then I'm going to band them, and this is finished because we're going to create the inside bag. Then we band them. So our bag is complete for today. Don't don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave your comment down below. And this is a finished product.